Welcome back to Crime Stories Unfolded, the channel where shadows speak, silence screams, and every truth comes at a cost. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, you already know, these stories don't just unfold, they linger. Before we begin, please subscribe and turn on notifications, because stories like this don't wait to be told twice. Now ask yourself this: what if an entire neighborhood knew something terrible had happened, but agreed, without ever saying it out loud, to stay silent? Tonight's story begins on a street where the lights flicker. The porches are always occupied, and everyone is watching, but no one is talking. Juniper Street sat in the heart of Southwood, a historically black neighborhood on the west side of Briarwood, Illinois. It was the kind of place where grandmothers ruled front porches like thrones, where kids learned to ride bikes under the careful eyes of strangers who felt like family, and where secrets traveled faster than police radios. But some secrets never traveled at all. On a humid Sunday evening in August, Malik Johnson, age 22, didn't come home. That alone wasn't unusual. Malik was known for staying out late. He worked days at a community auto shop and nights chasing a music dream that lived somewhere between basement studios and open mic nights. Everyone on Juniper Street knew Malik. He fixed Ms. Evelyn's car for free. He carried groceries for Mr. Thomas even when his knees gave out. He smiled wide, laughed loud, and talked about making it out without ever sounding like he wanted to leave anyone behind. So when his mother, Denise Johnson, noticed his bed untouched Monday morning, she wasn't alarmed. By Thursday, she was standing on her front porch staring down the street, phone clenched in her hand, realizing something felt wrong in a way she couldn't explain. Malik's phone went straight to voicemail. His friends claimed they hadn't seen him since Sunday night, after the block party. The block party. That's when Juniper Street changed. The party had been loud, joyful, and packed. Music thumped from speakers taped together with duct tape. Kids ran through sprinklers. Old beefs were buried in plastic cups of cheap liquor. And when the sun went down, the streetlights buzzed on, casting long shadows across familiar faces. Somewhere between the music fading and the crowd thinning, Malik vanished. No sirens, no screams, no witnesses, just absence. When Briarwood police finally took the missing person report, they treated it like another statistic. Another young black man. Probably ran off. Probably in trouble. Probably will turn up. But Denise Johnson knew her son. And Juniper Street knew more than it was saying. Detective Caleb Morris was assigned the case reluctantly, freshly transferred. Too quiet for his own good, and already labeled too thorough by his superiors. What they didn't know was that Morris grew up just 3 neighborhoods away. He understood streets like Juniper. He understood the unspoken rules. When he knocked on doors, people answered, but only halfway. I didn't see anything. I went inside early. Kids these days move around. But their eyes told different stories, especially Mrs. Loretta Green, who lived directly across from the vacant lot at the end of Juniper Street. She was 71, sharp as a blade, and had lived there since 1979. When Morris asked if she'd seen Malik Sunday night, she paused, just a second too long. "I hear things," she finally said. "I don't see much anymore." Yet that night, her porch light had been on until 2 a.m. Morris noticed something else too. Fresh dirt in the vacant lot. Not enough to scream crime scene. Just enough to whisper. The community began to feel it then. Whispers replaced laughter. Curtains moved. Conversations stopped when outsiders passed. Malik's face appeared on flyers taped to lampposts, storefronts, and church doors. "Have you seen him?" Stared back at the block like an accusation. Denise started asking questions people didn't want to answer. Why did Malik argue with Reggie Cole near the end of the party? Why did the music suddenly cut out around midnight? Why did someone clean the sidewalk outside the vacant lot before sunrise? Reggie Cole was trouble, but protected trouble. A local entrepreneur. He donated to school drives, paid funeral costs, and kept certain things running smoothly. On Juniper Street, survival sometimes came with conditions. When Morris tried to bring Reggie in for questioning, his captain shut it down. No body, no witnesses, no case. But Morris had seen this before. Communities bruised by history don't rush to the police. Not when justice has so often arrived late, or not at all. Silence wasn't ignorance. It was armor. Then, 5 days after Malik disappeared, a burned hoodie was found in a trash barrel 2 blocks away. It was Malik's. Denise collapsed when she saw it. Juniper Street went quiet that night. Too quiet. And somewhere, beneath the cracked earth of forgotten lot, the truth waited, running out of time. The silence on Juniper Street didn't lift, it thickened. By the time Friday rolled into Saturday, the block felt like it was holding its breath. Porch lights stayed off. Conversations ended in half sentences. Denise Johnson stopped sleeping altogether. She sat at her kitchen table with Malik's phone charger coiled neatly beside a mug of cold coffee, as if he might walk to the door and ask why breakfast wasn't ready. Detective Caleb Morris returned to the vacant lot at dawn. He brought no tape, no backup, just a shovel, and a gut feeling that refused to quiet down. The dirt was loose, newer than it should have been after a week of heat and humidity. He worked slowly, listening for footsteps, watching the windows along Juniper Street. Curtains shifted. Someone coughed. A screen door creaked shut. Then the shovel hit fabric. Morris froze. He dug with his hands after that. What they pulled from the ground wasn't the whole truth, but it was enough. A torn sneaker, a broken phone case, a watch with a cracked face, its second hand stuck between moments. Malik's watch. The street came alive in minutes. Sirens followed. Cameras arrived. The lot became a crime scene, and Juniper Street became what it had always feared. Exposed. Denise arrived just as they lifted the watch into an evidence bag. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She stood tall, shoulders shaking, eyes locked on the ground where her son's life had been pressed into the earth. "Bring him home," she said. Not a request. A command. The autopsy would later confirm what the community already knew in its bones. Malik had been beaten. Not quickly. Not accidentally. The final blow came from behind. The question wasn't what happened. It was who knew, and why no one had spoken. Detective Morris started with Mrs. Loretta Green. This time, when he knocked, she opened the door before he could raise his hand. "I've been waiting," she said. Inside, her living room smelled like peppermint and old books. She sat slowly, hands folded tight. "I saw Malik arguing with Reggie that night," she admitted. "He told Reggie he was done. Said he didn't want to move packages anymore. Said he wanted clean money." Morris leaned forward. "Packages?" She closed her eyes. Everybody knew Reggie ran things. Everybody also knew he kept food on tables. That's how it starts. You don't ask too many questions until one night a boy does. Mrs. Green told him to rest in pieces. Malik had walked toward the vacant lot with Reggie and 2 others. Voices raised. Music still playing loud enough to hide the truth. Then a sound she couldn't forget. Something heavy hitting flesh. "I wanted to call the police," she whispered. "But last time I did, they arrested my grandson instead." Her voice broke, so I stayed quiet. Morris thanked her, and for the first time, he understood the shape of the silence. Reggie Cole didn't run when the warrants went out. He showed up at the station wearing a pressed shirt and a smile too calm for grief. "I tried to help that boy," Reggie said. "He made bad choices." But the street had shifted. Once Mrs. Green spoke, the dam cracked. A teenager came forward, shaking, saying he saw Reggie's men cleaning blood from the sidewalk before sunrise. A shop owner admitted Reggie threatened to shut him down if he talked. A woman confessed she heard Malik begging someone to stop. Piece by piece, Juniper Street told the truth it had buried. The trial didn't happen quickly. Justice rarely does. Reggie's lawyers painted Malik as reckless, as involved, as responsible for his own death. The jury listened. Denise watched. Her hands stayed clenched the entire time. Then the final witness took the stand. It wasn't Mrs. Green. It was Andre Lewis, one of Reggie's own men. He looked thinner, tired, haunted. "I held him down," Andre said, voice cracking. "I didn't know it would go that far." The courtroom went still. Andre testified to everything. The argument, the beating, the order to hide the body, the promised protection that vanished the moment Malik stopped breathing. Reggie stared straight ahead. The verdict came back guilty on all counts. Life without parole. When the gavel struck, Juniper Street exhaled for the first time in months. Malik Johnson was laid to rest on a clear Saturday morning. The church overflowed. Music played, the kind Malik loved. Denise stood at the podium, steady and strong. "My son believed in community," she said. "He believed in speaking up. And even though it cost him his life, it saved others." After the funeral, something changed. Porch lights came back on. Kids played again. Conversations returned, not whispered, but honest. Juniper Street wasn't healed, but it was no longer silent. Detective Morris transferred out 2 weeks later. Before he left, Denise stopped him. "You listened," she said. "That mattered." He nodded. The street spoke. "I just heard it." Somewhere, Malik's music still lived. On old phones, in memories, in the courage it took to finally tell the truth. Because silence can protect you for a while. But eventually, it demands a price.